Hey guys, welcome to Checkpoint. I'm Rachel Hobbert.
I'm Victoria Haynes.
And I'm Molly Gentry.
Today we're talking about our impressions on South Park, The Fractured But Whole. That is B-U-T-W-H-O-L-E. Warning, this is a game that is a bit mature, but we'll be talking around some subjects when they come up, so just be ready for that. Also, this is a spoiler zone, so if you haven't got a chance to play the game or don't want the first couple of hours spoiled, hit pause and come back when you're ready. Now, let's get started. So, Victoria, can you just give me a brief statement about your feelings on the game?
So I never played Stick of Truth, which was the first one, which it's not entirely fluid, but it is fluid to an extent. Mm-hmm. So my first impression of this was it was just very South Park. Like there were certain things that I would play and I would be like, wow, this is like the trademark social and political commentary that like South Park is known for. Yeah.
So have you watched the show before?
Yeah, I loved the show when I was in high school. I haven't watched it in like a couple of years, but yeah.
Okay, because that was hard for me because I've not watched the show before. I didn't play the first game either. So it was interesting coming into that from a completely outside point of view. Of course, I knew of it, but not exactly certain things that I felt like might have been like inside jokes kind of thing. Molly, how'd you feel?
I did not like it at first. Honestly, it took me a couple hours to be like, yeah, I could play this some more. But I thought that overall it was like, well, overall the like 3 hours that I played, I thought that it was good. I thought that it really started to develop into itself, and there was a lot more that they introduced in the beginning that felt kind of overwhelming, that really like rolled together and worked together well after you got more into the game and felt more comfortable with all there was to offer.
Yeah, I definitely felt that like overall it seemed like a good game to me, but at first it was like hard getting used to some of the stuff, especially since I haven't played like turn-based in a really long time. So it's been a while for me getting back in the groove of that. So since I mentioned the gameplay style, how did you feel about that, playing that?
Yeah, the biggest obstacle for me, honestly, was the turn-based, because I feel like turn-based, well, at least for me, and I know it's just my own opinion, but like turn-based only works for me in very specific situations. So like being thrown into a turn-based game when I like had no idea that was what it was kind of, I mean, it wasn't aggravating. It was just like something that I had to readapt to because it's been a long time since I've played a turn-based game, like you said.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Yeah, definitely.
I thought their turn-based felt really, I don't know. I thought it felt really natural from the start. It was like really easy for me. I don't play a lot of turn-based games at all, and so it was really easy for me to get into like the groove of actually going that strategy for combat. I thought it was pretty fluid.
Now, what everyone wants to hear about is probably less the gameplay and more the story that goes along with South Park and this game in particular. Like you said, South Park is very much known for their social commentary and their crudeness and profanity. So we're definitely not going to be saying certain words and certain things. We will, like I said earlier, we will be talking around them, but I think it is important to discuss what kind of went on in the game. So what was one of the scenes or parts of the story that impacted you? Let's put it that way.
Okay. So I heard that in the first South Park game, your only choice was to be male. So whenever I played this and you were doing character creation and everything like that, I thought, oh, it's just gonna be like that again. But I noticed that like you could pick like very quintessentially female hairstyles and stuff like that when you were customizing. And so I was like, well, I'll just do this anyway. And then there was that scene where you could go into the school like and meet the school counselor, and then they prompted you with like questions about gender, and it was like, what do you identify as? And it was like male or female or other, and it was like very interesting because after that, like once you picked it, and I obviously picked female, it's like they have a weird commentary where like the counselor calls your parents and is like, is this true? And your parents are like, yeah, they've been that the whole time. And I kind of liked that, but at the same time, and then after that happened, you could pick between being cisgender and transgender, which was really interesting to me. Like it was like even more of like a jump that I've never witnessed in a game before. So I kind of really liked that, and I thought that was, I mean, it wasn't like a key thing in the game, but it was a really interesting addition that kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, I didn't personally go to the school. I had seen in an earlier playthrough of the game someone who had that experience, but I hadn't got to play through it myself, so that's interesting to hear.
Yeah.
It was nice as well, just to like carry that along, is that the superhero team that you were with, they also respected whatever you chose. Like they weren't weird about it, which kind of is a cool commentary on how kids just don't really understand that it's not like the norm to do stuff like that. So they see that and they think, oh, like that's just how they are, it's fine. And they accepted it pretty quickly. Like no one in the superhero team said anything bad about it. And I went with non-binary, and so they immediately started using they like right off the bat, and it was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really awesome to like hear about that. Yeah, I wasn't sure because I had heard about that you had the opportunity to say that, but through my playthrough, I mostly heard like, since I didn't get to that part, heard him or he through a lot of it, or just like a general overall, like they or what have you. So it is interesting to hear that that happened. And so another part of the character creation that I experienced and saw was that whenever you go to choose, you're just going through choosing all this stuff, and then you get to choose the skin color of your character, and it says, please choose your difficulty, and it ranges from very light to very dark, and on there it's very easy to very hard. Yep. So I found that is something that we actually reported on back when it dropped, when someone played an early release copy of the game, and that was a huge thing. People were like good job. But also like it's one of those social commentary things that is very interesting, and they're definitely very South Park-esque.
Where did you guys choose, or what did you guys choose?
I mean, I tend to just create characters like after me, so mine was like incredibly easy. I mean, but I just thought it was interesting how like he says, you hear Cartman's voice when you're creating your character, and it's like, he's like, don't worry, it won't affect your like gameplay. It'll just affect everything else in your entire life, you know?
Yeah.
And I just, that's like very South Park. It has to be very like tongue-in-cheek and blunt about stuff like that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there would be more comments on it in the game. I chose like the next to very difficult, and I thought that like someone would say something, but after playing it for like 4.5 hours, there was like
I went pretty middle of the
comment,
road just to see. Yeah, no, definitely. Was there any scenes that really got to you?
I think the rampant domestic abuse was pretty wild. It was like every parent couple in the game pretty much was like wildly unhappy in their marriage, and they were just like really aggressive towards each other, and you could really see like not only domestic abuse, but how that led to like substance abuse in their relationship, and how it would affect like the kids, and how they would talk with each other and then talk with their children, and it was there.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see like you're playing as a 4th grader.
Yeah.
You know, but there's like nothing 4th grade about this. I mean, that's essentially what South Park is like anyway, but it's just, it was an interesting perspective just for the show or for the video game or for anything like to take as a way to kind of like make these sorts of problems more stark, like way more visible, just in like a really weird way. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, then they take some stuff to like the ultimate extreme.
Yeah.
Like with, there was a church scene. There was a church scene that involved priests.
A Catholic church scene, I feel like.
And a back room, and I think that's all I need to say. You also had some slow music playing under it, so that was a fun fight. Not really. It was really disturbing. But Victoria's just smiling because she can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the graphics of the game mostly, I mean, it looked like the show.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of the show, it looked like the show. There wasn't anything like groundbreaking about that, but
The loading times, they were like no loading times.
It's
that was,
true,
That was,
yeah.
That was awesome.
I love that.
you don't see that often in games.
I feel like it's becoming the norm now more. Like people are trying to move towards that to reduce loading times, but it was still super nice to not have to do that.
I mean, it's hard for like PlayStation, Xbox to be like, we have these like major consoles that can do anything, 6 teraflops, and then it can be like, oh, but you have this loading time.
Yeah.
People are like, why are we not past this
I
yet?
still have to sit 30 seconds to just get into a building. So
Yeah, definitely. But I did some of the stuff outside. You couldn't jump.
Yeah.
That was bothersome a lot. I wanted to jump a lot. And then also, I had some trouble personally picking up things, like figuring out what angle to get at to pick it up.
There were
where
a
it
couple
wanted
times.
to be.
Yeah.
You want to tell your door story?
Yeah, okay. So, like the second time, I didn't even happen the first time. It was the second time I was in Cartman's house and I was going into his basement. And the basement, you go to the door and you can you push the joystick to the right to walk to it. And then but you don't hold it to the right because as soon as you get through the door, you have to push it to the left to walk down the stairs. But if you hold it to the right, like I was doing, just like naturally keep going, it sends you right back out that door. And I did that 5 separate times in a row where I put in the code and I got through the door and I walked right back out that door and I just had to keep doing it.
I feel like I used to do that a lot in like other games, but I did not do that
This
in
one,
this game.
that was the only time it got me. I didn't do it. Well, I didn't do it any time after that because I was like, all right, I'm gonna focus this. Now I'm aware. Now I know not to do this. And then I was playing at my parents' house, so the code to get into the basement was
F you,
a
Mom.
jab at your mom. Yeah. And so I was like, I am so sorry, Mom.
You had to keep doing it over
Yeah,
and
yeah,
over.
it's like
And it
5
says
times
it when
in
you
a
press
row.
the
Yep.
buttons.
And
yeah.
it's like pretty loud too,
Yeah.
and very, very,
Yeah. I can see your mom just being like, Molly.
yeah.
Definitely. And then I kind of wish there was more outside of combat mechanics, because I felt like, at least what I experienced for the amount of time I played, where like you can pick up and move ladders and chairs and everything every once in a while, and you could do the little firecracker.
Yeah.
Once you got those to break things. Oh, and you could like punch things. But like other than that, like I felt like I didn't get to interact with the environment as much as I wanted to. Like I opened some drawers and stuff, but that was kind of all that I got to do.
Yeah.
Did you ever encounter the member berries? You know what I mean?
What is it?
The member berries. It was like these things that you would find in the note.
Oh, are they like excerpts from the old game? Or from the first game? Or
No, I think it's just like throwbacks to like, remember when this happened? Remember when Wonder Woman
Oh.
flew an invisible jet? Remember when like, it would just be like old nostalgic tidbits of things.
Oh,
So,
weird.
it's really
Yeah, no, I
interesting.
didn't experience those. I did experience the Yowie posters, so that was
yeah.
I hope I can say Yowie. I don't think I can. Like, I don't know. But I was just like, I don't know if it, like, I'm like, I don't know.
It's just fan art. It's
Yeah. Like, is that something that's in the show? Because that was something like, I'm like, is this supposed to be referencing something? Or is it just, no, we're just putting Yowie posters because it's funny?
I think they probably just put it in because it was funny.
It's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I watched it.
Yeah,
like said,
I didn't know if
Yeah.
there's like anything deeply ingrained in like the
Yeah, I
lore.
think they
I'm not
just did it.
sure, honestly, but I think it was. I mean, it was for the lulz, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
And that was
there
interesting.
there was a dad collecting them. Like,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
got the
Yeah,
post
yeah.
from the dad. Yeah, that was good.
what class did you guys pick?
Oh,
Oh God, Speedster, and then whenever you did the dual class, I did Cyborg, which was pretty sick. That was a cool backstory. The like mega power for Cyborg was just like your eyes go red and then you just pull like 5,000 guns and missiles and stuff out from behind you. It's wild. It was wild.
Yeah. I picked Blaster because it was like the most ranged thing
Yeah,
that I
I did-
found,
I did.
and I always pick ranged stuff. Like I can't ever, I can't deviate. I'm too
Yeah,
one
rogue with a
track.
bow.
Yeah, always.
And
I'm
a
always
knife,
rogue with
yeah.
a bow.
definitely. I was a blaster too. It was, I mean, I did pretty decently with it, I guess.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
that.
I mean, I liked it, but you're like, how do I say it? Like the Trump move, basically, that you do is like you have like a really awful fart that
Yeah.
like blasts fire out of.
I feel like all of them probably had to do
All
with
of them
farts,
have
so-
something like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then your backstory of how you got your powers with your parents doing things.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
fun. So
Was it the same with
sadly,
every backstory?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
We have to end there at that, your parents doing things. But that's all we have time for today. We want you to know what you guys think about South Park. Let us know in the comments down below. Also, remember to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel to see more episodes of Checkpoint, as well as our weekly news show, Glitched. You can also like our page at facebook.com/glitch.news. And with that, our checkpoint has been reached. Thanks for watching.